How's it going, everyone? My name's Pickle, and welcome back to a brand new livestream, where today we are doing something a little bit different. No, we're not building a pyramid, do not worry. Instead, there is an item in this game that I am in desperate need of, but I haven't actually done the calculations for regarding the best recipe. And that is, congrats if you managed to guess it from the thumbnail, by the way. Frame, preferably. There we go. The fused modular frame. So we are going to be going over the fused modular frame and seeing which recipe is actually the best. I know which recipe I would prefer to use, but maybe I'm entirely wrong. If you guys are new to the channel, by the way, welcome. If you're watching the stream live or whether you're watching on the VOD, it's also good to have you here as well. So thank you very much to everyone who is currently tuning in. I've now got a grey screen. Awesome. What I'll do is send this to back. There we go. Move you out the way there just for a little bit. The main problem seems to be you, doesn't it? Send it to back. Which did absolutely nothing. Brilliant. Oh well. Let's see if I somehow manage to bring you guys to the front. Is that gonna fix it? Brilliant. And the last thing left to do now. Always nice having to something, you know, break instantly. Wouldn't be one of my streams if something didn't go awfully wrong within the first 5 minutes. And send you to the front there as well. Brilliant. Now that's broken everything there as well. Okay. I'll fix that a bit later on, since this app has broken today. That's alright. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Fantastic. So, fused modular frame. What are we going to need for this? Well, let's find out, shall we? There's 2 recipes, I believe, for this. There we go. The first one, and there's also the second one there as well. The second one actually requires fuel, it looks like, and nitric acid. Okay. I also want to try and touch upon, I think it's cooling systems as well. Not quite today, though, but one day. And I want to try and make one of these per minute. So for that, let's get the blender out. We're going to need quite a few machines today. I am playing on low graphics as well, just so it doesn't lag out the stream. There we go. Today's stream is going to be rather quiet, by the way, so if you guys are watching live, I will be able to read all your messages. Luckily, not many people watch the streams anymore, which is great. Well, it's great for you guys, because it means I can now read every single message without really struggling to cover all of them. So, any live viewers, that is a fantastic thing. So regarding our modular frames, or heavy modular frames, you need one of them. Okay. I hate this keyboard, but oh well. Those are heavy modular frames and our aluminium casing. Not bad. Keyboard stopped working again. That's the 3rd time today, actually. So what happens with my keyboard, because it's about 6 years old? Actually, no. How old is my keyboard? 8 years old? Almost? So essentially now when I'm trying to type some letters, it doesn't actually type it. Which is really awesome. When you're trying to, like, you know, write stuff. Oh well. Tough. Let's then link it up over there as well. Brilliant. And the final thing that we're going to need there is our 25 nitrogen gas. Okay. And chuck you over to there. I believe this is the recipe that I am personally going with, because I don't really want to use fuel, but it's not necessarily the best recipe though. Also, we're going to have to make this quite a lot bigger here. Maybe something like that would be good. Let's give that a try. Because the thing is, our heavy modular frame is quite a big recipe. I've actually got the basic recipe out here somewhere. That would be quite nice. Heavy modular frames, there we go. So, you're the recipe I quite want to try and use, isn't it? 900, 363. Less, power, less. Yes. Okay, and you're making 5, so essentially divide everything here by 5. And we've already got this recipe done. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. That's fine. I'm not sure if any of you guys recognize the thumbnail, but it's obviously inspired from Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? But for this instance, it's more like, what's the recipe? We have got to make you quite a lot bigger. Damn. Would you fit into there now? You would, if I was to move you along to... Let's see, around about here. And then get rid of this if it's going to work. If it's going to work, thank you. I only took 3 times there, to be fair. Can I move you up a little bit? No, I've got to try and move all of you guys out the way first. Great. And move you to around about, let's say... It should be good. Lovely. Make sure that all of you guys are in the right location. Yeah, how's everyone's day been today, by the way? I know there's currently no one watching, but if you guys are watching the VOD, hope that you guys have had a nice day so far. Welcome, Dirk Boo. Hope that you're doing good. Heavy in case frames. If this is the recipe that you're talking about, then yes. Normally, well, it depends what recipe I try and make with the default, but for this one, I'm just going to go with this. Although, I don't know, because like, the thing is, right, with the fused modular frame, there's so many alternate recipes you could do. I think what I'm going to do is, as long as I use the same heavy modular frame recipe for both this and... Let's see. And this... If I'm using the same aluminium recipes and the same heavy modular frame recipe, I think it's going to be okay. I think it will then be fine. So again, because you guys are 5, I've got to then divide everything here by, well, by 5. Okay. Let's get our calculator open. So we're starting with you. You're going to be roughly 2.7. It's more like 2.68, but I might as well round it up. There's no point making 2.68 modular frames. That's just stupid, in my opinion. The right opinion. Okay, 9 divided by 5. Is that like what? 1.45? What even is that? 1.8. Okay. It's not bad. And 6. Ooh. 12. And roughly 9. Although you'll be 9.1 most likely. Oh, I didn't get rid of it, so that's fine. Is that correct? Yeah, I should be. Yep. 7. And then same here with you guys. Okay. Great. Dual pipe, you are then 9. Damn. 36. The easiest way to do this, by the way, is divide everything by 10, then times it by 2. That's a good way just to divide by 5. It's just easier. So, for example, 180 divided by 10 would be 18. Times it by 2, 36. 6, that's 12. You're going to be 48. Oh yeah, the ratio for this is terrible, isn't it? From the iron ingots to steel pipes. That's alright, though. 16.7. 1.67. 3.34. Very quickly double check that one. It was 16.7 divided by 5 equals 3.34. Okay, we actually managed to get it spot on. Great. And 20 of you lots. 80 of you lots. Means 80 of that. Concrete. 21. Can't be. 16, 17, that I think that would be. Roughly, like give or take again. 252. Be 41. I do want to double check that is definitely correct. Oh, it's nighttime again. Classic. If I was to make 17 of you, which I can't do, if I do 1.7, I'll then be 51. Okay, 51. Yeah, that makes sense. If it was 41, that would have been 200 and whatever it was before, rather than 250. Okay. Concrete again up here. I say 40. 8. 23. Lovely. And that's basically the heavy modular frame recipe done. Brilliant. Now let's move on to our aluminium casing, which isn't as easy to do. Luckily though, I have got a recipe ready for it. Where's probably a good place to try and find it? Here? That's our sheet. Holy sheet. Our sheets will do though. There we go. All I've got to do is just, well, completely change parts of this recipe, but it's still good to have a rough idea of what we're doing. So you're going to go in roughly there, which means I'm probably going to end up, yet again, moving this back. And then nitrogen gas. Okay, that's just raw gas, though. That's not packaged nitrogen gas. Good. Because that would have taken a lot longer to do. Brilliant. So you lot, come over to there. Of course, you're then going to mess around with that, obviously. Lower you down to there, lower you down to there. Brilliant. Now with our aluminium, we're going to move you up to around about here. I'm not sure how long today's stream is going to be, by the way. I want to try and get this done, then move on to some actual gameplay. Which will be rather exciting. I know that quite a lot of people enjoy the recipe videos, just not quite the recipe streams, which is interesting, because this is where I do all the fun stuff for the videos. So it's the YouTube algorithm, isn't it, really, at the end of the day. Recipe videos, yay. Recipe streams doing the exact same thing. No, boo. Oh well, that's alright. So we now have 50 aluminium casings, and I believe you guys don't require copper ingots. I will double check that, but I think we're right. Yeah, maybe you guys also can require ingots. You do? Okay, so I'm going to be using the alternate recipe because that's the recipe I'm using anyway, so I might as well just stick with it. And whilst I'm here, I'm actually going to get rid of all of this. And we are going to do this calculation just properly, because I'd much rather do that. And you go straight to the ingots, right? Yeah, just, okay. So you got the exact same recipe, which is fantastic, actually. Makes my life a lot easier. You don't have to do this, by the way. You don't have to get copper involved for this stage of the game. In fact, for any part of this. But the reason why I do it is because it means that I have to consume a lot less aluminium ingots, which is less crude oil, it's less water, or actually maybe not less water, but definitely less crude oil, and definitely less bauxite. But I think it's worth it, and it's copper. Like, there's tens of thousands of copper ore and copper ingots lying around your world. If you then turn that into pure copper ingots, you can then almost double the amount of copper in your playthrough. That's not even beginning to talk about the converter, which then can convert a lot of other things into copper, but that's just not really worth it at all. Welcome, Pocket. Hope that you're doing well. Welcome to the live stream. I wouldn't mind having some of those slugs on us. I think I know where to find some, actually. A lot of them. Let's try and find some. It is relatively dark. There's not much I can do about that unless I want to install a mod. I don't really want to do that. Oh. That's not what the teleporting thing's supposed to end up looking like, but that's fine. Oh, I think you go to the grass fields. I don't want that. I want the... Yeah. It's a shame I can't show you guys that teleporting animation, because it's actually really good. It's a really good animation. Seems to be breaking today, though. That's completely fine. Again, sums up the stream, really. There's nothing in that. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So, Mr. Oh, it's already got the casing in there. Isn't that good timing? Oh, I forgot to do the amount of machines required as well for this. Okay, this is what normally takes a good couple hours for me to do off camera. At least you guys get to see how I do it now. So let's start with you then. Unlocked phase 5 today. Nice, man. Good luck with it. So 1 heavy modular frame. Okay. You need to automate the SAM fluctuators. Yeah, SAM fluctuators aren't terrible to do. There's definitely worse things out there. There's definitely worse things to do. Wait, no, I didn't do that. It's... There we go. How many manufacturers do I need? 1 manufacturer. That's 35%. Technically 36. There we go. Brilliant. Welcome, Charlotte. Hope that you're doing well. Yeah, I've done this hundreds of times before. It's pretty much as accurate as you can possibly get in this game. Unless you want to use some sort of AI to do it for you, which a lot of people do. That's completely fine as well. If you would like to use an AI software to help you out with this thing, that's completely fine. I'd rather not rely on AI for everything in my life, so I like to do some things by my hand as well. Nothing better. Use modular frame. I believe you're made in the blender, aren't you? So let's just get you out the way with. Welcome, Vinard. Hope that you're doing well. Yeah, just salmon iron, really, isn't it? Yeah. You're made here. Yes. The basic recipe for now. We need 1 of you lots. That's 1 blender at 67% efficiency. Is that correct? That is indeed correct. Great. Next, we are going to now start working on the modular frames. We need 2.7 modular frames per minute. And the recipe that I'm using, I believe, is... you. Yes. 2.7 is... Okay, that's 1 assembler. That's 90% efficiency. The reason why I'm doing the percentage, by the way, and a good example for this, I suppose we'll stick with... I don't know, we'll go over to the blender. For example, let's say we're only using 10% of our blender's clock speed. This means that we are only consuming 7.5 megawatts. But if I was to write this down as 1 blender and then not include the percentage of it being used, that now means that according to my maths, we are consuming 75 megawatts, even though we are not. So I have to do the percentage of all the different blenders. And let's say by the end of my maths or calculations, we have 6 blenders consuming, all in all, 100% efficiency. Great, I know that is now 75 megawatts that I'm using, rather than 450 megawatts, which I would have written down if I didn't do this. So that's the reason why you see me writing down the percentage. Then what I'll do at the very end is I'll go over this little sheet that I'm starting to write down, as you guys will see in today's live stream. And everything that says manufacturer, I'll add up all my manufacturers. That'd be like, let's say, 4 manufacturers. Then I'll add up the percentage there as well. I then do that for the blenders, assemblers, smelters, constructors, packagers, water extractors, literally anything other than miners and liquid extractors, like the oil extractors, because I don't bother doing them. Because everyone uses different ones. Like some people use Mark 3, some people use Mark 1, so it's difficult to do that calculation because everyone just uses different things. But that's what I end up doing. So, as you guys saw, actually calculating the heavy modular frame took us 5 minutes to readjust all the numbers. This part will take a lot longer. I still think it's fun, but if I didn't do it, the results that I provide to you guys in the videos wouldn't be as accurate. And I want it to be as close to, as accurate as possible. Man 36, it means that 1 manufacturer at 36% efficiency, or clock speed. That's what that basically means. So we've just done our modular frames and turned that to be green, which just means that I've done it, essentially. So now let's move on to our 1.8 reinforced iron plates. Because I know that quite a lot of people end up watching these recipe videos. I think in total we've had close to a few 100,000, like, combined, which is nice. But not a lot of people actually understand what I do. Like, of course, my very first videos weren't very... detailed, whereas the most recent ones are. So I'm trying to improve and make the content as good for you guys as possible, whilst also making the content just better, I suppose. So you're an assembler. And again, we're only consuming one of you guys at 32% efficiency. I don't really abbreviate assembler because it would just be ass. And then someone's going to be like, what does ass mean? Or arse. Be like, well, yeah. Isn't it weird how, like, I say assembler, but then I pronounce that as arse? I wouldn't say arsembler. Doesn't matter. English is a weird language. Accents are weird. You know what we should do? Just ban every single accent and just go with like a standard Scouse accent. If you've never heard of Scouse accents, it's beautiful. There we go. We should make it common law in this country. Everyone has to have a Scouse accent. Okay, 36% there for our constructor. Only need one of them. That's not too bad, luckily. Next up, we've then got our ingots. I'll get on to the ingots a bit later on. I'm not too fast about that as of right now. I will do our iron plates. I use a standard recipe because I'm a standard bloke. 30%, so again, just one of them. Then our wire, we need 12 wire. You are going to see me calculating quite a lot of iron wire recipes today, by the way. Like, a lot. But I think it'll be fun. That's a lie. I lied. Okay. Then you two to be green by the powers that I have. There we go. Particle accelerators are one of the coolest machines. They are, yes. The only problem with them is that it makes doing things like this very difficult. Because the quantum encoder, the converter, and the particle accelerator don't have, like, fixed power consumption rates. So I've often got to calculate a maximum and an average consumption. Or, like, power consumption. Which is really annoying because it makes my life just a bit harder. But it does look really cool, though. I can't wait to have them, like, fully working. Cannot wait. Okay, now we've got to move on to this little item. Not sure if you guys have ever heard of it. It's a brand new item in the game. It's called a steel pipe. It is brand new, everybody. Brand new. I'll make a video about it tomorrow. Last night, Satisfactory introduced a brand new item called the steel pipe. Okay, need one of you lot in a constructor. Brand new machine, by the way, constructor. I believe in French it's pronounced constructeur. That was a lie, by the way. I lied. Also, that's pretty interesting. So it seems like the clock speed is also identical to the amount of iron ingots that are needed for the iron pipe recipe. Well, you know. More you know. Anyway. Encased industrial beams, of course, using the encased industrial pipe. It just is, like, great. It really is. Bit of a weird number for it, though. One assembler at 84% efficiency. I don't do 83.5 because just round it up. Wait, come on. It's like half a megawatt in the difference, most likely. You would never steel pipe? No, I would never steel pipe from the steel pipe. I use iron pipe rather than steel pipe for the steel pipe. Obviously. Now back over again to steel pipes. Oh, dearie me. In fact, you know what? Yeah, actually, it's already on the screen. 20 of you lot, so that's going to be 80, yeah, 80 megawatts. Nice. Wait, no, not 80 megawatts, sorry, cancel that, 80%. 80 megawatts would be ridiculous. I will show you guys our workings out now in just a little bit. Just so it starts to make a little bit more sense as to what we are doing. Then, concrete. See, now because it goes over 100%, what do you think we're going to do? Well, this now counts as 2 constructors at 114% efficiency. It's as simple as that, really. Really is. And there we have it. So this is what we got going on so far. Let me just paint you green, you. like so. Everything in green is what we've already calculated, plus this. Hence why we've got a blender recipe in there. Welcome, Ilvmert. Hope that you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. You sleeped and overclocked the particle accelerator to get to phase 5 faster. Fully overclocked and sleeped particle accelerator takes up to 20 gigawatts. Fun. I look forward to draining my power grid by using one machine. I absolutely cannot wait. So what we're going to do here eventually, after we've done like everything here, including the aluminium, including the nitrogen gas, which actually we're not going to include because that just requires the gas picker-upper. That's the official name. We then add all of our constructors, all of our assemblers. So again, it makes sense. And like, just look at our constructors here. We're consuming, just like, if we just take these 4 into consideration here, that's 4 constructors using up about 160, 100, yeah, like 200%, which is 2 constructors worth of power. So we are actually saving half of our power here by doing this maths correctly. Granted, again, it takes a bit longer, but oh well. We now need 8 more concretes, which is 54%. Damn. Just for 8 concrete, that's 54% of a constructor. Damn. Oh well. That's fine. Okay, so that's now done. Now it's time to move over to the ingots, which is German. That translates in English for the ingots. That wasn't German, by the way. Well, it would be a lot easier if I was just to add up all of these ingots, if I'm honest. Actually, no, it wouldn't. No, I'd rather do it one machine at a time. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's 9 smelters. If you're doing it individually. You could, in theory, combine all of these together, which is fine, but in fact, would it be easier to combine all these iron ingots together than split them off in their certain directions? Because then you're consuming less machines, less power. I'm going to leave it as 9 smelters for now, because the maths is still the same. Okay. So I believe 30 is the max, right? Yes. So if I was to add them all up, we've got 9.1 plus 7. Plus 80, 36, 48. Which is 100. Oh, are you kidding me? 180.1. No, I can't be dealing with that. In fact, no, it's actually fine, because to make 6 of these plates, that's only 9 ingots. Yes, okay, so the good news is, I can remove that, which makes it exactly 180. The reason why I'm trying to get it down to 180 is because that's divisible by 30. 3, 6, 9, 120, that's exactly 6. Okay. And again, look at this. We're using 9 smelters, but only the power of 6 of them. And that's basically everything here now done. That's fantastic. This next part could be a little bit easier in some regard. If I just leave that over there, copy you up to here. The thing is, now what I'm going to be doing is actually like doing the recipe numbers and the machine requirements at the same time, which just makes things a little bit easier for us. And I do like making things a bit easier. 50 aluminium casing. So you're only going to be consuming 1 assembler at 45%. Again, I'm going to always round up, never round down. That's probably a very good thing to take away from this. Never round down. Because like, if I was to round down for 10 of these recipes, that's less power than what I'm going to be needing, or less resources than what I'm going to be needing. I'd rather have 5 extra aluminium ingots per minute, rather than like 5 less aluminium ingots per minute, because then you're just, you know, you're not making enough, everything's not as efficient, it sucks. You're going to be in a pretty bad situation. See, I censored myself there, I didn't say shit. Anyway, oh dear. That's our aluminium casings done. Now that's going to equal 67 aluminium ingots and 34 Copper ingots. Let's just get the copper stuff out the way with, because it's copper and it annoys me. Not really, but oh well. 34, so we are consuming 2 smelters. At 114% efficiency. Oh wait, I'm actually using the refinery variant, am I? No, I don't want to be doing that. So I was actually correct. Just for this version, I don't want to be using water variants. Although, no, you actually do require water though. I can't stop using that. But for you at least, we'll keep you nice and basic. We'll stick to the basics. Welcome, fried pickles. I said Guten Tag. Yeah. Okay, now moving on to our 67 aluminium ingots, which is made. Here. I think you can make them in birth, can't you? There we go. Yeah. And you're going to need 3 smelters. Fair enough. 3 smelters there at 224% efficiency. Brilliant. Thus taking in 134 aluminium scrap. Now, if my calculations are correct, this should also mean that we should be consuming 134 bauxite and 134 water. Unless I've royally screwed up here, which I might have, but I don't normally make many mistakes at this part, at least. Right, let's move on to our solution, where the solution to our solution is no solution. There we go, first refinery of the day. First of, I'm sure, many. We need 1 refinery at 45% efficiency. Not bad going at all. Yeah, no, I don't make mistakes. No, never have. The only mistakes I've made have been mistakes that I've made. And that's a fact. It is. Let's just say 27 petroleum coke there. There we go. I would round this up to 81, but let's see for now. Have you seen that video where one woman asks another woman, like something about a mistake, and then she's like, my favorite beef steak. And she goes on to talk about a beefsteak. That's deep. Solution is actually made in here, isn't it? I don't know where I was walking off to. No. We have to get the sloppy out. There we go. Lovely. 80.4. Okay, so wait, before people say I was wrong, I wasn't wrong. It turns out this... Okay, so it's 67, which is what we're making here. So I wasn't wrong, I just wasn't correct. That's alright. So, yeah. This always lines up with that, essentially. That's how you know you've done your maths right, or completely wrong. And we're going to need just 1 refinery. One refinery at 34%. Steak in the steak? Absolutely. You have to have steak with the steak. Oh gosh, no. I've made a vital error. I didn't see how much water I'm producing as a byproduct. 47. No, 46.9. There we go. Now moving on to our coke. Got 27 of you, which is only 9 heavy oil residue. And about 22%, 23% of 1 refinery. Wow. Moving on now to the heavy oil residue. Actually, yeah, no it is. It's the good recipe for it. So you're roughly 6.75, well, exactly, crude oil. And 4.5 polymer resin. And the last thing to calculate here for our maths is... Yes. I'm going to lower you down, though, to 22%, because I rounded up for that one, so I'm going to round down here, so it's just the exact same, basically. And I think that is everything. There we go. Producing too much water. I mean, the good thing, like, something that I do with my aluminium facilities, which I'm actually, like, really enjoying as of late, is rather than trying to somehow mysteriously recycle this water back into another recipe, what I do is I get that water, I get packages, I package the water, and I send it off to go make my pure ingots. This way I don't have to deal with the absolute kerfuffle, which is just recycling it back into this. I ship it away, out of sight, out of mind. Oh yeah, I have to have a spreadsheet. Yeah. I have to. I've calculated every single recipe in this game. Every single one. I've already got a few of my factories planned out, so this is what I'm doing next. This is my aluminium facility. Although I'm also doing rocket fuel as well, which is somewhere. Here. No. Where? It's lost. It's gone. It's flew away. Right, so the scores on the doors. If I get your nose, where is it? Yep. Get your face, drag it out to there. So let's start with our manufacturer. There we go. We need 1. Yes. Now, a manufacturer, I believe, requires 55 megawatts worth of power. Let me just double check that, though. My lord, yes. It's bad. It's a lot. But it's worth it. You know, it's worth it. So are you 55 megawatts? Yes. How do I still remember that? So what's a third of 55? In fact, what I'll do here, this is something that I like to call, oh, yeah, that's what I really wanted. There we go. 55 divided by 100 times by 36. So we're looking at roughly, give or take, 20 megawatts there for our one manufacturer. You can now disappear. Blender. 1. And we're using 2/3 of 75, which is 50 megawatts. Next, we now have our assemblers. We've got U2 plus U plus U. Why are you capitalized and nothing else is capitalized? Oh well. That's 4 assemblers. 4 assemblers. There we go. 90, 32, it's 122. 206. 251%. Okay. 251%. And we know for a fact that an assembler consumes 15 megawatts. Times up by 2, 30. Half of 1, 7.5. We go 7.6 because of the 1% there. That is 37.6 megawatts worth of power. I don't like having a 0.6. That's good. Okay. Next up now we've got our constructors. If that isn't the best spelling of construct... You know what? If that isn't the best spelling of constructors you've ever seen, I don't know what is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8? That's a lot less than I thought. Where we have got 36%, 30%, 54%, 48%, 80, 114, 54. That's 416%. One constructor consumes 4 megawatts. 4 times by 4 is 16, plus a little bit extra. We'll go 17 megawatts. It's like 16.674, but 17. Close enough. Smelt. 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Okay. There we go, smelt. There we go. 700. Oh dear, okay. 714. 938. 38 megawatts. Lastly, now we've got our 4 refineries. See, like, we are Oppenheimer, just without the whole, like, you know, bomb thing. And the whole spelling thing. Feck me. Or 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 124%. Okay. This is easy mathematics, bruv. 30 divided by 100 times by 124 is 37. I hate decimals, man. 38 megawatts. Although I'm going to move you up. Normally I like to try and have a nice order here of all my machines. Stop. So you'll fit quite nicely into here. Normally I try and sort my machines by like rarity. It's like smelters, constructors, early game, assemblers towards the early game, refineries a bit later on. Actually technically it's like manufacturers and blenders. But you know what? By that stage, I don't, yeah. So that's fantastic. That really is. That has put a smile on my face. I'm smiling with enthusiasm. I'm gonna keep you there for now. You can just, like, go. In fact, I need to do you all over again, don't I? Oh. It's fine. I'll rewind the stream to where I had, like, all the calculations here. And I'll write that down on the side just so I don't have to, like, redo that all over again. I'm a decimal hater. Let it be known to the general public. I am a decimal hater. I am? No, I am. Absolutely. I'm gonna chuck you into here. There we go. Great, so that's our recipe now done. I have got to try and change you, though, to a light-ish sort of grey. Add up all of our megawatts here. No, why are you doing... Thank you. 108 plus 38 plus... Why are 3 of them 38s? I just realised. 201 megawatts. You know what? 200 megawatts to produce one fused modular frame. That is fairly outrageous. Like, that's not even including like the water extractors or the miners or the gas extractor thing. That is quite a lot. Welcome to mid to late game Satisfactory. Like, quite a lot's not enough, but a lot is enough for a lot of enough. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Resources required. I suppose let's start with iron because that's going to be really fun to do. Okay. 80. 128. 150, 164. 173. 180. 180. If you guys don't watch darts, that will make no sense. I don't just say 180 like that for some like random stupid reason, because they do it in darts. I don't know why they do it in darts. I don't know. So 74 concrete, limestone. When it comes to our bauxite, we are then consuming 67. Almost a circle. It pretty much is like half a circle. Let's just call it half, honestly. It might as well just be half a circle. Crude oil. See, like 6.75 crude oil. Because a comment that I sometimes get is, oh, why do you use the petroleum coke recipe? Firstly, I like it. Second of all, it barely consumes, like, any crude oil. It does add up over time. But I've already done all my maths for my playthrough. So I know that it's just not going to really make that much of a dent. So I'm alright with it. Oh gosh darn it. How dare I forget about such an important thing. What a sin I've just committed. I believe that's now this entire recipe done, really. You can go. You can go. Anything that I've missed? I don't think so. Great. What I'll do now is this. Bring you to the edge. Bring you to the edge. This is just like what I had before, but, you know, before it, well, stopped working. I believe if I go into you, thickness is fine. Rounded corners make you a tad bit less rounded. Me after going to the gym for the first time, a bit less rounded. Then center back. Ah, chef's kiss. Increase of thickness. Fantastico. Ah, muy bien. Muy bien. Anyway. I do very quickly want to watch back what I did for the very first heavy modular frame calculation, just so I can write it down.
With Google.
Bloody hell, Google, shut. Shout out to the one person watching on YouTube, by the way. I do appreciate that. Oh, I think that actually might just be me. Doesn't matter. Shout out to me. That's depressing. Is that it? No. Making sure that I've got everything written down here just so I can copy it across. There we go. Stop. Because I believe that for the next recipe, I'm also going to need exactly one heavy modular frame. Granted, yeah, okay, great. So that means that we're going to have one manufacturer. So I wonder what the main, like, purpose of this next recipe actually is then. Now, I'll just copy it one, like, word for word. Why are you in caps now? We've got quite a few constructors for this part. That's fine. How's everyone's day been today, by the way? I hope that everyone's been having a nice day so far. Thank you, by the way, for the support on... Actually, I'll keep you there. Yesterday's videos. I released 2 videos yesterday. As it would double upload. Not many people saw the first one until like this morning when YouTube decided, you know what, I forgot to recommend this channel. I don't really blame them, to be honest. Well, that was nice. The shorts video is doing fine. I'm glad that there's a few people that ended up enjoying that. I spotted it. Originally, I didn't actually see it. But when I was going back, recording that video for yesterday, the main video, I then ended up, watching back the clip and actually realizing, oh yeah, there was actually a hat there. That's pretty cool. I also saw a few suggestions as well from the chat saying that it could be like a moth hat. Not like a real moth, but like the moth in-game. Which is a really cool idea, actually. Didn't even think about that. If they were to add that, that would be sick. Those hats were definitely new. I don't know if many other people spotted them. From what I could see, judging... Well, I didn't go on Reddit because I'm not 5. I didn't go into Discord because I don't really use Discord. But not many people were really talking about it. It meant business. That's probably what it is. That's probably what happened. Right, you're gonna be the basic recipe. Basic. Used modular frame. You're then going to be Times New Roman because it's the best font ever made. You're then going to be bold, italics, and underlined. Brilliant. Like, just look at that. Love it. I really do. Now what we are gonna do is this. Chuck you there. I'm going to move you back here a little bit. You are technically all gonna go now. We're starting our second round. This is where things go from being good to being rather interesting. I'm gonna keep that M there just so I don't have to like reset the text or anything, which sometimes I do. Same with that I. Aluminium's going to change slightly. You're not going to change, but I am going to have to make this a little bit bigger. No. Mercy on my soul, man. No. There we go. Making sure that you're definitely still in line with that there. I believe we're also still needing nitrogen gas, just don't know how much of it. Actually, we'll keep it then. We'll keep it there. I don't use Reddit. The only place that I get Satisfactory news is from their YouTube channel. I don't go on things like Twitter. I don't have Blue Sky. I don't see the point in Blue Sky. What actually is the point in Blue Sky? It's like, I've only heard about it. But from what I've seen, it's the exact same as Twitter. Except just not owned by Elon Musk. Is that just what it is? Just people rebelling against the Musk. Speaking about the Musk, I haven't heard about him in like a day. Is he alright? Normally every second story is about him. Made by the guy who made... Oh, okay. But why not just use Twitter, though? Because Twitter has, more people on it. Easier to use if it's the exact same. All crap, in my opinion, anyway. So, a fused modular frame, one of them. Got our 50 aluminium ingots. Right, so it's actually a bit less than what I was dealing with before. And nitric acid. Why of politics? Well, then they shouldn't just listen to what other people are tweeting out. Just ignore them. If someone says that they dislike pineapple on pizza, I'm not going to have like a temper tantrum because that's not what I believe in. Just ignore what they say. Oh well. Let's get rid of this, because we are going to be needing... No. Because we are going to be needing less than what we actually had here, which is great. What we had over here is perfect, but we're dealing with 67 aluminium ingots. Which think... Yeah, I mean, yeah. Logic to the illogical is a myth. We are using nitrogen, right? We're using nitric acid, which I don't like the look of. Where are you? There we go. I think I want to try and move you here. You seem too high up now, doesn't matter. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Let's start with our 50 aluminium ingots. Like, look at the amount of time that we managed to save just copying over this recipe. And all of this here as well. Like, that generally did actually manage to save us there a lot of time. Which is great. Now, though, it's back to the aluminium stuff. Where to make our ingots, actually, isn't it the smelt that we need? I don't think we need more than 2 smelters here. Might be mistaken, though. No, I'm not. So, 2 smelters. 167%, which is the equivalent of 1 2/3. Not too bad there at all. Then we are going to need a 100 scrap. I also know from this information, which we managed to decipher, that we are going to need 50 bauxite and 50 water. That's just something to get out of the way with there nice and easily. When it comes to our scrap, I am going to use the electrode recipe. Oh, jeez, I'm actually having a brain fart moment today. Give me strength to make it through this. Refinery, 1 at 34% efficiency. Brilliant. How many Twitch emojis are there? I think I've used Twitch, like, properly twice in my life, so I don't really understand Twitch. I stream over on Twitch, though, because I had a few comments of people saying that they like to watch the streams, but they don't like watching YouTube streams. And, you know, I respect feedback like that. That's completely fine. That's actually good feedback. So I decided to do a few Twitch streams, and those people didn't watch, but it's still nice to get, you know, a new perspective on the streams, I suppose. The petroleum coke, we are going to be needing 20. And then our alumina solution, we're going to be needing 60. Okay, brilliant. Let's get the alumina. Alumina. That just sounds wrong. Alumina. Out of the way with. That can't be right. Aluminium. Alumina. Aluminum. Aluminium. Alumina. 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 Ah, just ban the English language. No, don't. A wide range. If you subscribe to someone, they can have a plethora of them. Fair enough. Illuminati. Oh no, I'm not the Illuminati personally, no. If I am, I couldn't confirm nor deny. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out now. Yeah, okay, so 25% of a refinery. You're done, you need to be done. Which, out of context, sounds really bad. There we go. Coke. Petroleum coke, it's a rather fascinating thing, isn't it? It really is. I could talk about it for hours, I just don't really want to. There we go, refinery, one of them at 17%, which means that for the heavy oil residue, we are also going to be needing one refinery at 17%, give or take, efficiency. Great. That's then going to require 6.7 heavy oil residue. We then go on to heavy oil residue, where we can see that the heavy oil residue requires 5 crude oil, and the heavy oil residue also makes 3.4 petroleum polymer resin. And there you go again, the exact same clock speed there for the heavy oil residue. Great, so that's now these two fellas essentially done. Aluminium Illuminati, yes. That sounds like a spell in Harry Potter. Aluminium Illuminati! Anyway. I've seen 5 minutes of Harry Potter, by the way. No, I watched the entire thing. I don't mind Harry Potter, I just think it's massively overrated. Like, the acting, I know they were like 5 in the first movie, but like, still. What's he doing? He's going to sacrifice himself. No, you can't. There must be another way. Kill me now. Oh, but don't worry though, it gets better in the 7th movie. I don't want to have to watch 7 movies. No. That's like me recommending The Walking Dead and saying, oh, don't worry guys, it gets better after season 8. It doesn't get better after season 8, by the way. It's better from season 1 to season 2. Did I watch the entire thing multiple times? Yes, but you know. So we've done that. We've done that. Now let's move on to... Just get it out of the way with. Just get it out of the way with. Yeah. Fuel. There we go. 8 seasons to get better. Yeah. You hear that a lot of like anime shows as well. Like whenever I'm recommended an anime, people always say, "Oh, don't worry. After like season 14, it gets better." Oh yeah, because I really want to watch 200 episodes of like Goku fighting a Velociraptor in like Chile or something. Anyway, fuel 10 per minute. What I'm gonna try and do here now is probably just stick here, I think. Yeah, because the diluted fuel recipe is really good. So I'm just gonna stick to this. Although, yeah, no, that's actually fine. So only 10 fuel per minute. The thing is, that's really not a lot. The only problem with it is the actual logistics of the fuel itself. Because you're having to make the fuel, but if you've already made the fuel with the heavy oil residue in the water there, in the blender, and you don't know what to do with it, you might as well use it for this. And I think that's definitely a point I'm going to be raising in the actual video itself. I don't think you should go out of your way to make the fuel. But if you're making your fuel facility and you want to make like a few of these blenders, because bear in mind, each one of these blenders can produce 100 fuel, that's 10 fused modular frames worth, which is actually quite a lot, then I don't actually think that's that bad. It all depends on the amount of power you are consuming and the amount of resources you're saving and the time consumption though as well, which is the entire reason as to why I'm making this video. Because I don't know what's better. I would recommend this recipe, because it's literally just aluminium and iron, and a bit of nitrogen, which is easy just to fly in or whatever. But then this recipe requires nitric acid, which might require less nitrogen, and it requires fuel, and the same things, but a little bit less aluminium. So I don't know what's best. That's why today's stream is actually like a really good stream. Well, it's not a good stream, it's just an entity. Well, scientifically, it's an interesting stream for me. Heavy oil residue. Because tonight will be the night that I will residue over again. Sorry, I shouldn't be ruining that song for anyone. So 10 water, 5 heavy oil residue. Make you a bit smaller that. Also make you a bit. Why are you like 5 miles long? Change you to our little watercolor. You have to sing it in a silly way. You have to. It's almost like I don't think I've ever actually sung that song, or at least that sentence of that song correctly. Okay, that's our 5 heavy oil residue, and the easiest way to do this is just crude oil. There you go. I believe, this is my guess here, I'm going to say 2 crude oil per minute. Although I have just completely fabricated that number out of thin air. So I could be completely mistaken here. I actually said 3.75. I don't know where the number 2 came from. But there we go, we got it correct because we don't make mistakes. Oh dear. There's a slight problem. There we go. No, we didn't actually do any of the machines for that, did we? Why are you there? You're that. Okay, that's fine. So making our 10 fuel per minute consumes how much of the blender? 10%, that's 7.5 megawatts. But we'll do that calculation a bit later on. One blender, 7.5. No. 10%, sorry. Then our heavy oil residue is 12.5% of a refinery, of only one refinery, luckily. Bandabidocious. We are going to have to increase the length of this, though. It is a lot longer than I thought it'd be. Which isn't a sentence I've ever heard in my life. There we go. What? There we go. Oof. Okay. The last thing here that we've got to try and do. Get rid of that. I'm going to guess this is going to be an industrial parts. Why wouldn't it be? There we go. Is our 8 nitric acid. And this is actually where I'm a bit, like, fascinated here. Because this is where we're going to be ending up consuming most of our nitrogen. Is it going to be more or less? If it's more nitrogen, I don't see any point in using this recipe. If it's a considerable less amount, then maybe it could try and sway me. Maybe. Like, very, very maybe. Said maybe. Sorry. Nitric acid's also made here, isn't it? Wait, what? 32 nitrogen gas. So you're consuming more, but then, and yeah, that's the plus the. Huh? How are you consuming more? That really has confused my brain. No, it's nitric acid, isn't it? There we go. Nitric acid, 8 per minute, which is 27% of a blender. Okay. One blender at 27%. You are then also going to be consuming a cocktail of different ingredients. Let's move you over here slightly. You're taking up so much room. And you actually need the room. Nitrogen gas 32. Lovely. Chuck you into there, then paint you actually, before I paint you, yeet you over there, then paint you. Beautiful. One would argue that's fandabidocious. We then need some water, which I can get from here. That's 8 water per minute. That's a very respectable amount. But at the same time, do I seriously want to get 8 water from God knows where just to make 8 nitric acid? No, but I'll probably end up either making it all in one facility or just getting a lot more water over than what I actually need. And lastly, 2.67. Let's go 2. We'll go 2.67. Iron plates. The iron plates then require iron ingots. And connect you over there as well. Brilliant. And then, whoa. Is that something like, I'm going to have a guess here, 4.5 iron ingots. Here we go. What a stupid number. I'm just going to write down 4 because that's outrageous. I don't identify with that number. There we go. 4 iron ingots, which is then 4 iron ore. There we go. Which is 2.67% of a constructor. Great. So, con, 2.67%. Smelter, which is you. Let's go. Oh, well, damn. %. Anything else here that I missed? Done that, done that. The actual nitric acid itself we did do. So that's it. We're now done with you lot. So let's combine this. Combine you guys together. We'll then do the machines required and the power required as well. We'll then move on to the resources required, which I don't think will be as good as what I thought it would originally be. Also, you're an alternate recipe. So we'll change you to alt. And your name, your official name is... He smells fun. Deary me. Heat fused frame. Heat fused fram. There we go. Amazing stuff there. Just like fantastic. And chuck you here as well. There you go. Make sure you're lined up over there. You're lined up there already. That is great. Although I do want to try and change you to that. Brilliant. Jolly good show. Okay. Now it's dime. Now it's time for you. Do this. Let's start with the manufacturers. How many manufacturers have we got going for us? 1. Okay. Perfect. See, I've never made a spelling mistake in my life. And what did we say it was before? It's the exact same. 20 megawatts. Okay. 20 MWs. I was watching... No, doesn't matter. Let's stop that conversation there. 1... Construction Constru. That's the official name for it, actually. Is that 3 blenders? What a piss take. I'm sorry. Excuse my French, but that is a piss take. 37%. Right, as 100 and... 104% of a blender. 75. So it's like 76 megawatts. Give or take like 0.3. No. Next, let's swiftly move on to our refineries. How many are we going to need for this project? 1, 2, 3, 4... Only 5? Really? Is that so? 5 sets at least. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I was actually right. Well, I knew I was... Well, I didn't know I was right. I was hoping I was right, shall I say. That's the word I'm looking for, hoping. Regarding the percentage... Let's see. Let's get the online calculator open. We're dealing with a 12.5, 17, and another one. 34 and 25. So in total, that is 95% of a refinery, which is 30 megawatts. We're looking at like 29 megawatts here. Maybe 28, but considering it's like 95.5%, we might as well round up there a little bit, just in case we are off by 1. No. It is... No, we're correct. Because... Is it 1%? 10% is 3 megawatts. 1%... 3% is 1 megawatt. And we're off by just over 3%, so there we go, that is actually correct. Brilliant. Now let's move on to the assemblers. It's just really eye-opening. Oh, why is it always... See, the way that I controlled my emotions right there. That's good. Hey, can you stop highlight? Thank you. It's always nice to remain calm. 1, 2... No. 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 1, 2, 3 assemblers. Thank you very much. Yeah, because I am a really relaxed person that isn't stressed about anything ever. Are you the exact same amount of assemblers as this, by the way? No, you jammy sod. 90%, 122%, 100, 206%, 30 megawatts, 31 megawatts. Mathematics right there. I don't think I messed that up dramatically. I could have just typed it in here on the literal calculator that I've got next to me. $3,374. What? Oh, I didn't put a... Let me see. $206, yeah, that's pretty much smack on the money. Fantastico. Now let's do with our constructors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 constructors in total. I'm generally fascinated to see that the differences here. 9. Then now let's add up the percentages. So we're starting with a... That can't be 2.6%. I want to revisit this. And record my mathematics. 13 point... Yeah. See, that's what we do. Because making mistakes is a natural thing. We are all humans. Apparently, I'm supposed to be one as well. So because of that, we make mistakes. The question isn't, if you make a mistake, what do you do? The question is, if you make a mistake, how can you recover from that mistake? How could you be a better version of you? How could you shape the tomorrow that you want to live in? Under the person that you belong in? To fit in the shoes that you wear on your feet. You are you. Okay, that's 430% there, so that's 16, 17, 18 megawatts. Damn, bro. That's crazy, man. Anyway, that was my American accent. Hope that you guys enjoyed that. I forgot to add in 12 for reals at the end of that sentence, but you guys get the gist. So, 96%. Sounds just like me. Thank you. I've been told I sound like a Texas resident. Residents. Yeah, residents, yes. 60. Oh, wow. Tickle me stupid. 174 megawatts, 201. You actually saved 30 megawatts worth of power here. Why? Manufacturers is the exact same. Blenders is more. Refineries is a little bit less. Assemblers is a little bit less. Constructors is a little bit. Smelters. I didn't do bloody smelters. Oh, they're from Texas as well. See, I told you. The smelters 9, 10, 11, 12. 7. 7. 8, 7, 1. Is 35 megawatts additional. Let's see. That probably has a pretty big impact on our mathematics, bruv. Let's see. If I go back to the workings out that I just did previously. No. So, we've got 20 megawatts. Plus 76. Plus 29 and 31, so that's pretty much 60. No, it is 60. Plus 18 and 35. It's 209. Wait a minute. How close is this? 209. 201. So you consume 8 megawatts more. That's crazy. Wow. That's actually kind of funny. All about... See, this is the reason I do it. Why I do, like, videos like this and go into all the depth that I go into. Because of things like that. Like, if I was to look at both of these recipes side by side... I'll do right now. I would say that this recipe would consume a lot more electricity, but it's only 8 megawatts. But now let's see if the resources required are potentially going to sway me onto this team. The Team Alternate Heat Fused Frame team, which I don't think anyone's a part of. Let's see. Iron's going to be the exact... No, it's not. Whatever this is, plus 4. 184. There you go. In fact, I might know. Beautiful. In fact, yeah, I'm going to copy this across. Just so it's easier to compare side-by-side comparisons, which made me compare the comparisons, which are, you know, used to compare stuff with. Great. The only thing that I've got to try and do is remove the numbers and add back in the correct ones. That's how... Well, that would just make sense. Although I didn't actually include nitrogen gas for the other one. Which for you is going to be 32 per minute. But for you won't be. Or 25. This has only taken us like about an hour and a half. I'm not going to record the video on camera. I'll do that off camera so I can get all my editing stuff all sorted out. Do a few things behind the scenes, obviously. Just, you know, make it look nice. Right, limestone. You're going to be the exact same, aren't you? 5, 6, 7, 74. Yeah, obviously. Obviously off camera. 50 bauxite. Water 50, 68. Crude oil 5, 6, 7, 8.75. Still barely anything though. Copper 0. Wait. Oh. Oh, right. No, that is good. There we go. The nitrogen gas 32. Am I using anything else here? No. Okay, so let's actually compare these two. I am genuinely interested. We can go out to around about there. So I'll chuck you across the room over there, then I'll chuck you across the room as well. So let's go basic on this side. Just so it's a little bit easier to understand. So regarding iron ore, the basic recipe consumes less. Limestone is the exact same. Regarding bauxite, the alt consumes a little bit less. Water, the basic is just about a bit less. Crude oil, basic is better. Copper ore, the alternate's better, it has 0 consumption. Then nitrogen gas, the basic's better. Power wires, the basic's better. So is there a way that I can like highlight which one's best here? Yeah, just not that colour though. There we go. I mean, water is literally like just about better. No, feck me. There we go. You're also better with crude oil there as well. And nitrogen gas, but you have got better copper. So the only thing the alternate recipe is better at is it saves you 17 bauxite and it doesn't consume copper. That's the only thing the alternate recipe is good at. The basic recipe saves you on iron, saves you on water, saves you on crude oil, saves you on nitrogen gas, saves you on machines, and saves you on power. Am I correct there about the machines, by the way? I just made that up, but I assumed it was right. More smelters, less constructors, more assemblers, less refineries, less blenders. So it's about the same, I would say. But power wires are the most important thing here. This is better. That's really fascinated my fascination senses. I now feel fascinated. No, why are you doing that? Okay, don't underline it. There we go. Great. That was a really interesting comparison, actually. I really enjoyed that. That was a fun little challenge. But again, like, that took us an hour and a half, and luckily it was actually quite short, because I'd already done my iron calculations, my iron plates, my iron wire, my reinforced iron plates, my modular frame, my steel pipe, the encased industrial beams, the concrete, the heavy modular frame, the alumina solution, the ingots, I mean everything here. All I had to do was just combine my other workings out, but as you can imagine, every single recipe here I had to, like, calculate. So it does become annoying after a while, but well, not annoying, tedious in some regard, which is the reason as to why I consistently take breaks in between the best recipe videos. Some of them just do take a long time. Okay, so this part of the stream is now technically, I would say, done. Let's get onto the gameplay. Well, I've been quite busy off camera, in fact. Let's load into this. I'll then up the graphics a little bit. Yeah, off camera, I have been rather busy. Just collecting resources, not really like building anything. But we've now managed to save up a pretty decent amount. I do want to try and head over back to where we are making our fused modular frames, not using the alternate recipe, so I actually chose the correct recipe. Who would have thought? Wow! I kind of knew it was the best recipe, but it's still always good to confirm it. In fact, one thing I haven't yet done is showed you guys this. Obviously, a few of you would have already seen this. I mean, let's pause the music. There we go. This is the Satisfactory console release trailer. And I haven't actually read through the comments just yet, so I don't know what people are saying about it. So I want to watch the trailer with you guys again, get your opinions on it, and then read the comments to try and get what everyone else's opinions are. Because again, on the video that I released yesterday, there wasn't really that many comments, so I couldn't really get like a good understanding of if people liked it or didn't like it. So let's go through it again. That is loud. Let's just mute that. There we go. I could probably have the music in the background. I haven't seen it. No, I have seen it, but I haven't seen the comments. Regarding like every single freeze frame here, we analyzed this on one of our previous live streams, and I don't think there's anything new. From what I can see, at least. Like, machine-wise. Yeah, nothing new there, I don't think. I like the animation, though. I think they might have someone new designing the animation. Looks really good. Of course, this is the meme from Pulp Fiction. Actually, good little screenshot. It doesn't matter. I'll do that later. I managed to get a really good thumbnail for an Updates 1.2 video that I've got coming up. So for this part here, the very first thing to take into note, again, I know I discussed this yesterday, but people don't often watch the videos. So this helmet here is new. There's also a couple new helmets. One's up there. That's a joystick, potentially for the joystick awards that the game managed to win. A beanbag, some nuts there on the table. Who doesn't love a good nut? And of course the console. I mean, that's like the main thing about this teaser, isn't it? It's the console stuff. And then in this freeze frame, you can see a couple new helmets. That's what the shorts video is about. I believe that's a clip that's rather old, that Hypertube clip there. And there we go, November 4th. I don't think we missed anything there. The tumbleweed, that obviously isn't currently in the game. I don't know if that's new though. Let me try and just reduce the size there of the screen. There we go. Great. So here's what some of the comments are saying, because again, I'd like to know what people are actually thinking about this. Satisfactory and Contour is cool and all, but now I want the helmet with the tea coffee cup. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ada is confused by the trailer. The pioneers are being simultaneously productive and unproductive. Yeah, I wonder what Ada's take is. Like, we've talked about our take, but Ada hasn't really had a say yet. Someone called impeccable. I think that's a potential like Polish name. I'm not quite sure. Joke, obviously. Looks like a neat game. I have to check it out. It is a very neat game. You guys could even see it. There it goes on screen now. So we'll be able to play Satisfactory inside Satisfactory. With the TV, I think is what they're talking about. What's currently there in the hub? I don't actually know what's currently there. Yep, the meme. So good at trailers? Yes. Favorite game? See, this is what I mean, right? This is exactly what I mean. this trailer is appealing to a lot of new people. It's not necessarily appealing to many current players, which I still think is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty cool. This is a long message. Also, it's cutting off after about there for you guys. I'll just read the rest of it. As a PC player who won't even get a newer console than my childhood PS2, I'm only here for the coffee-stained trader experience. Trademark! That said, I'm also very happy for the people who finally have access to this awesome game. Welcome to the community, couch people. That's me, I'm a couch person. Yeah. For the first time, it does sound a bit sarcastic. Yeah, of course we had Let's Game It Out's little clip in there as well. Tumbleweed, who doesn't love a good bit of weed in Satisfactory? Now you can crush my game on a new thing. Yes! Now I can get annihilated by creatures on a new thing. That's my take of it. Hope it sells 1 billion copies. I agree. This game should sell more copies than Minecraft. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I think this might be like a Swedish thing. I don't understand Swedish letters, but I know that they have letters in the Swedish alphabet. I know, guys, crazy. There we go. Yes. Again, another person who can finally play Satisfactory. Great. Yes. Silk Song. I've heard people talk about this singing of Silk. Oh, I don't care for it. Yeah, we saw it on the game's trailer. It wasn't really my kind of thing. Yep. Goosebumps? Yes. My bumps are goosing. It seems like it's very positive comments though. Oh, happy birthday. That's pretty cool though. There we go. Right, so what have I been doing off camera? Nothing. I've lied. No. Just making sure that I'm getting enough resources, basically. But I do all the boring stuff off camera so that you guys can see the good stuff on camera. The song was nice. My bumps were definitely goosing after that. Like, absolutely. Oh. Nice, I've broken my game. Where's my hover pack? There it is. Get on me. Lovely. So everything here is going fine. The one thing I was making sure I've got enough of, though, is my supercomputers, my radio control units, both of which we've now got hundreds of, which is fantastic. I do want to try and make quite a lot more fused modular frames, though. That is something that I'm going to be doing as of right now. First of all, look at all of that. That is fantastic. Additionally, I do want to try and make some cooling systems today. If I've got the recipe for it. That's okay. We'll definitely do that. Let's bring some motors and some... Oh, heat sinks. I don't have any heat sinks. How the heck do I make heat... Well, I know I do, but I don't want to use the finite ones that I've got. How do I make your face? I'm guessing copper sheets and something, right? Okay. Right. Let me do that very quickly. That's like, you know, first things first. And are you using summer sloops? No. You are. But for as of right now, I'm not necessarily needing you, so I'm just going to borrow you for a sec. Yeah, how is everyone doing on the stream today, by the way? Hope that everyone's doing well. This factory has been coming along rather well recently. I've been enjoying the grind, I must admit. Yeah, organization. We'll start off with... I don't really need 2 of you, so I'm just going to go with this. There we go. Production. We're then going to get hit with an assembler. Hit me with your assembler. Da, da, da. Hit me with your assembler. Thank you. I have got an album coming out, by the way. Oh, I need a splitter, don't I? Forgot about the splitters. Yeah, my album's going to be called Music to Die To. Splitter. Welcome, Sinister Plank. Almost missed your message there because of how quick the chat's going. that was sarcasm, don't worry. Hope that you are doing well though. Welcome to the stream. Let's chuck you into there. We'll then go aluminium. Pickle. Bennett's. Oh no. You must have been mistaken. I was singing a song from Pitch Perfect. That was the very first time I've heard that song though, by the way. Pitch Perfect is just such a fun movie. There you go. Why is our copper sheet not copper? Oh. So we are now producing 30 heat sinks per minute. This is really awesome. In fact, no. This is really awesome. Merger. I wish there was a way of seeing like how many mergers and splitters I've got in this playthrough. It's at least 3, I would say. Nice and slow. It's not even lined up properly. It's not even. Oh my god, man. There we go. Wait, where are you going? Oh no, I don't need to do that. No. I pay Bennett. Yes, it might have been. Is the music overlapping itself? What's going on? Oh, I've got the music in the background. There we go. Turn that off. You won. You know what? I wish there was like a Satisfactory radio. Hear me out here, okay? Wait, I'm gonna explain this in like the easiest way possible. Imagine if like the Satisfactory devs somehow, I know this is like unrealistic, but hear me out. If they somehow got like a few music composers together and someone to do some like, you know, voiceovers to make it seem like there was some sort of Satisfactory radio. If you guys have ever played Tropico 5 at least, I think they have it in other games. They have that as well, where you can sometimes have like a bunch of tropical music in the background, then there's like a female who comes onto this, or not even comes onto the screen, just starts speaking like, "Welcome to Tropico, your all-out exclusive place to enjoy yourself." I don't know what accent that's supposed to be, by the way, bloody hell. You know what I mean. Like a Satisfactory radio channel where you can just listen to like a bunch of Satisfactory songs, like what they've used in the trailers and what you have sometimes in the background. So it sounds like, I don't know, radio. How else can I explain that? If you've ever played Tropico, you know roughly what I mean. Where is this bloody merger? I should be a game developer. Imagine all the incredibly horrible ideas, incredibly fantastic ideas I could have. There we go. All the proper. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, fix it radio. I'm gonna write that down and send that as like an email. Or maybe not an email, but I'm essentially trying to get like a compilation of things that I want in update 1.2. Some of them might be reasonable, some of them might be a bit out there. But it's just a fun little list, right? Fix it. No. If I spelt fix it, it means I want to write fix it. Bloody hell, auto-translate. There we go. I've actually got a list. Okay, here's my list. Some of them are terrible. So, update 1. And I wrote this, by the way, about 2 weeks ago. So the very first thing that I wrote down was console. And of course, we've now got console. flat angled walls. What I mean by this, hear me out, okay? And I'm going to be preaching this into the adders. I will say in every single video on 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.45. I don't care. Essentially this. Oh, bloody hell. This. Like, this is perfect. But I want the wall to come straight down. Same here as well. Like, I don't want the wall to cave inwards like that. For some things, it's like, if this model is fine, I don't want them to get rid of this model. But I also want them to add a model where this wall comes flat down, like here. It's just straight down. Rather than having to, like, add a wall there yourself and do something like this, for example. I will explain this in the video, I'm just showing you guys now. Like, rather than having to do this. Because now it's not angled properly, it's not straight, it doesn't line up, it's too wide on each side. It's really annoying. Just have one of these blueprints that looks exactly like this over there as well. The title screen theme was findable boombox. That could be pretty nice, like a little boom tape one. Yeah, there's tons of ideas they can do there for the starter screen, or even do what they have. Okay, again, this is really going out there. If you guys have ever played Rome or Total War Rome 2, you can essentially choose your background screen, like a bunch of different factions, and it's really cool. I kind of wish you could do. Why is there a dismantle crate over there? I kind of wish you could do that in this game, where you can have a few different background screens that you can choose from that you personally want. Maybe from like updates, like 3, update 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.0, 1.1, whatever background screen you want from the previous updates. If you could have that, that could be pretty cool. Anyway, continuing the list. Oh yeah, skip to daytime or a constant daytime mod. Essentially what I would quite like the game to add is like a tent. Or in the hub, for example, you can come up here to your beds and you can click like sleep to daytime, like during the night, for example. Or when it's the daytime, you can then sleep to nighttime. I think that would be a rather interesting thing. But then will that mess this up, the days since last incident counter? I'm not quite sure. And what I mean by the tent is that, let's say, for example, I am in the swamp. And then, oh no, it's now nighttime. I can't see anything on my screen. If I place down this like little box, it doesn't have to be like a tent, like a metal sort of buildable, just like, for example, this. The same size as the equipment workshop, with a door there, a glass wall there, whatever, like a little bed inside of there. And then I'm able to skip to the daytime, just on my screen, just so I can, you know, see what I'm doing, or skip to nighttime, whatever. That could be quite nice. Again, this one's a bit out there, but a spyglass, essentially like a way that you can zoom in without having to use the photo mode like this. I wish they could add some like binoculars or a spyglass. So let's say, for example, you hold down or you click the right mouse button, and then it just zooms in automatically. This way you don't have to press picture, the T button, zoom in like that. No, it just does it for you. So a spyglass could be rather cool, some binocular system. Reintroduce clippable objects. What I mean by that is, I'll use this as the example. Before update 1.0, you could do things like this, where you could clip a modern railing, for example, inside of the road barrier. As you can see, you can no longer do this unless you, like, move it. Just have it the way it was before. There was no problems that I could see with it. Next up, we've got curved walls. The closest thing we've got to this is something like this. But the problem is, I want the actual wall itself, like these, to be curved. So I can, like, match what I've got going on over here, or match what I've got going on down over here as well. Because let's just take this blueprint. Put it up to there. The question is, what do I put underneath here? I can't do anything underneath there. If I was to move that vertically up, it doesn't go aligned with that, which is really annoying. So if there was some sort of curved wall, you could then continue that sort of like pillar sort of formation, which I think is really good. So curved walls, like big curved walls like that, and then smaller curved walls like saw. Great. Golf, obviously. Nudgeable water extractors. You can't nudge a water extractor, I don't know why. I'll also bring up the fact that Mark III pipes and Mark II water extractors will basically never happen. New weapons and ammo types. And I also put in here an RPG. I think I must have been smoking some sort of illegal substance when I wrote that. New weapons, though. What? Like, again, it's a very out there sort of thing. Like, you don't have to have any more weapons. The game doesn't need more weapons. But I wouldn't mind more ways of combat. Like, right now we've got the basher, which is like the best thing to have, or the candy cane in theory. Or a rifle, or the rebar gun. That is it. But how about some sort of like... some, again, like, I guess we got the Nobelisk for the RPG sort of thing. A sniper I don't think would make any sense, but... it's like another form of weapon could be rather interesting, but it's up to them. That's not going to happen, though. A lizard doggo radar. This is actually something that I thought of at 2 AM, and I wrote this down, and this is one of the smartest things I've ever thought of. And if this doesn't receive like a round of applause from the Satisfactory developers themselves, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But essentially, I've tamed, I think, 4 lizard doggos so far in my playthrough, and I have lost or killed every single one. We don't talk about the killings. Every single one I've lost. I don't know where they've gone. If there was a radar or a map where after you've tamed a lizard doggo, you insert some sort of chip into its collar, so you open up the map, and there'll be a little setting over here that said like lizard doggo or tamed doggos, and then you can see them where they are on the map in real time. So I know I can personally go up to my lizard doggo that would be highlighted over here. Let's say it would be like flashing, for example, like... not like that, like... something, like a radar tower sort of flash, but a lot smaller. So you can never lose your doggos. I think that would be really good. I'd love that. Pipe Mark 3 might be useful if they add more endgame stuff. Yeah. They do despawn occasionally. Yeah, again, that's really annoying as well. If I've tamed a dog, I want to have the dog. And then the last thing I said is great so far, just some quality of life changes. Because, yeah, oh yeah, also the fix-it radio as well. Like, to be honest, every single thing that I've just mentioned is basically a quality of life thing. The actual game itself, I think, is in such a good position. I have heard some mixed reviews, though, about multiplayer. But for the most part, I would say that, like, update 1.1, 1.0, and hopefully 1.2 are in such a good position that I'm actually really happy. I really am. Aluminium. There we go. Why are you yellow? That's why. How many heat sinks are we up to? Oh gosh, that's tremendous. That really is tremendous of the highest order. Why I don't care. Let's just go. Let's put all the stuff away in our inventory. And let's go make some more fused modular frames. Woohoo. No. I will clean all of this up off camera. Is there anything else that I needed? Heavy modular frames, I believe, was something that I needed. In fact, I know it's something that I need. No. Yes. Great. Where's the pack of jets? There it is. Yeah, getting cooling systems done today as well would be great. So what do I need? Oh yeah, heat sinks. I've already got that. What else? Cool. Motors. Right. I'll grab you whilst I'm here then. You're over here. Let's go. Definitely chuck a few of you lot over there as well. There we go. I don't need it just yet, but eventually I will. You guys are filled to the brim with plastic, right? Yeah. And rubber. I've actually got to try and empty that off camera. And let's have a very quick, like, examination here of the dam. Am I still happy with the way the dam looks? I think we'll end up looking really cool when I've got everything flattened out. But as of right now, yeah, I like the design. I have made shitier things in this game before. Trust me. If you guys have been around for a while, you'd know. If you haven't, then feel free to stick around so you can see the rest of the of the terrible things that I make. What a great advertisement for the channel. Wow. How many have you got? A good few hundred, I would hope. 0. You have 0. Are you taking the lapis out of my chest? That's ridiculous. Right. Right, okay. This is what I like to call a pro gamer move. What I'm going to do is this. Why are you so high? First things first. Pretty good. Second thing, second. Great. Now you, kind sir, are going to be making our cooling systems. Obviously, this goes without saying. I am going to be fully automating this eventually. As of right now, though, it's not on my priority list. There's much more important things for me to be doing as of right now, rather than automating cooling systems. There just is. For example, I don't know, like getting enough power. Update 1.2 video, I do want to release that relatively soon. Like in the next 4 to 5 business years. Heat sinks, that's fine. How are we looking? How are we looking? How are we cooking? We're cooking pretty good. I wouldn't mind some sloops of summer in here, but that's fine. Oh, I mean, if you're going to tease me like that, I might as well. Lovely. And how about, as the cherry on the dysfunctional cake, just in time there for the next round. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Then move you. Yeah. And you. I know this is going to work, by the way. There we go. Yes. Oh, I love when a plan comes together. The only thing that I'm going to have to stay on top of now is my heatsink, because, I mean, we've only got 200 and something left in there. Motors, I don't think we're going to need much of. Luckily, when it comes to our cooling systems, we don't need many. Nitrogen gas, we got infinite amounts. Everything there's grand. You guys will be grand here as well. We've got tons of heavy modular frames. Casings might be a slight concern, but I am going to go AFK for a couple hours off camera to make sure that I've got enough of all of that. And again, you guys are the fused. Yes. So you are going up there. That's grand. That's fantastic. I mean, that's what I wanted to try and get done today. Basically done within 2-hour mark. Isn't that brilliant? The next thing that I also want to try and work on, I suppose, is finishing our dam project. I want to record a segment off camera for that though, so... Well. Can I afford one of you lot? I've only got one left? Damn, we're actually completely out of Mercer Spheres. Wow. I don't want to go out exploring again, I really don't. Eventually, absolutely I do, just not as of right now. Yes. I think we are actually in a really good position as of right now. We are. Oh. Okay. Everything here for what I need to get done is now done. Tomorrow, I want to continue the dam, completely finish the dam. Make some blueprints for that. What day is it tomorrow? Sunday, isn't it? Yep. And I suppose like everything that I've got to try and do now is just making resources. Because I've got everything that I now need. My turbo motors, which is unreal. I'm making all of this. So, I suppose tomorrow... Oh, you know what? Why wait? Oh, no, no. I do want to try and do it tomorrow. The reason why I'm streaming a bit less today, essentially, without bringing down the mood of the stream, my dog is dying, and I'm spending a bit more time with him before he goes. So that's the reason why I haven't really been streaming much recently. So yeah, I'm not like ignoring the channel or anything, but my best mate's dying at the minute, so that's why I'm trying to like take care of him, give him some cuddles and all that. But yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but it's life. I could use some more cables around here. What are you guys making again? Although I'm not really massively concerned about this anymore, am I? Because you guys are the supercomputers, and I've already got hundreds of you. That's not too bad. In fact, what I'll probably end up doing is this. Taking everything out of here. I'm sort of flying all over the place as of right now. Something up. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's, it's what can you do? Turbo motors, okay. Let's do it. Let's do the turbo motor. Wait. If I select you, you have got an alternate recipe. Actually, I don't know which recipe I'm even using, but for now, this is fine. We'll go cooling systems. Radio control units. Motors? And a rubber. We've only got 100 rubber on us, that's fine. There we have it. We are now making turbo motors. Granted, this won't get us very far at all. I do want to try and get some more rubber because I've got thousands saved up somewhere. Just like that. And the rest of the stuff, yeah, we can do off camera. But just in case you guys tuned back in onto tomorrow's stream, it's like, how the hell does he have like 50 turbo motors? This is how. I don't exploit, I don't cheat. You can if you want, I won't stop you guys from doing it. But as someone who makes content from the game, I try not to. The most I do is the hypertube cannon, and that's because I don't want to have to walk 1,000 miles. And I also don't want to necessarily have a flying mod, which, again, nothing wrong with it. It's not really my kind of thing. Personally. I'll continuously keep on filling this up off camera. And we'll see where we go from there. Well, I say continuously. I'll do it for like 5 minutes until I do something else. But yeah, either way, that will just about conclude today's live stream. So, thank you very much everyone for watching. I know today's stream was probably the quietest stream I've done in my channel history. But you know what? It's okay. If people watch, they watch. If they don't, they don't. That's completely fine as well. I love the character hovering. That's pretty cool. There we go. But a massive thank you to the 61 people that watched today. That's very kind. And hopefully tomorrow's stream we can get back into doing some more interesting stuff there as well. Fingers crossed. And thank you for the 5 likes on today's stream. Thank you very much, everybody. But yeah, that'll just about do it for today. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, sometimes my streaming software just doesn't work, which is really annoying. Yeah, you too, Fried Pickles. You were here for a long time today, so thank you very much for that. That is very kind of you. Yeah, everyone have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yep. Cheerio.